And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to introduce him tonight. Dr. Phillips is from Northwest Indiana. He has 2 practices, and he is very generous of his time this evening to get behind the CBD movement, get the education out there. And tonight's series is going to be on CBD and digestive health. And I think he's going to put the gravity of the information out there that's going to be powerful for wellness moving forward in your personal journey to full body wellness and getting education on CBD and what it can do for our bodies and the endocannabinoid system. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Phillips to take it away. And are you on, Dr. Phillips?
I am.
All right. I'm going to leave it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started right away with, I really want to stress tonight that no supplement, one supplement can be the be-all, end-all supplement for probably about anything, but especially when it comes to the digestive system. And, of course, we all know who Hippocrates is, the father of medicine, and he is quoted to have said, all disease begins in the gut. And so consequently, a lot of things happen in the gut, and we can't expect something like CBD, cannabidiol to do everything in the gut. So there's lots of other ingredients that are important. We've all, if you're into healthcare and into natural wellness, you've certainly heard about the benefits of probiotics and prebiotics and digestive enzymes and all sorts of things that go to make the gut healthy. I mean, not only in the gut do you have the process of breaking down the food, but you have the process of maintaining very specific pHs in each area of the gut. You have the process of then absorbing the food and getting it into the body in a form that's usable for the body. So there's multiple steps, and we could never just point at one thing and say this is going to be the be-all, end-all. But that being said, when we get ourselves in a situation where, like last week we talked about inflammation, and we get inflammation in the gut, cannabidiol can be very beneficial for that. When we get inflammation that turns into specific conditions, cannabidiol can be very beneficial to reverse these situations and get us back on the right track more quickly than some of the other supplements that I alluded to on their own. So it all has its place and it all has its purpose, and we need to keep that in mind, that taking one thing can never be the be-all, end-all to health in your body. So many of us are sending up the SOS signal when it comes to our digestive system. Many of us are addressing symptoms, taking antacids, and in most cases, antacids, research is out there that shows that antacids lead to heart conditions. Antacids lead to cancers that develop in the digestive system. Antacids do not benefit your digestive situation. And so it's a situation where it helps with the symptom of heartburn, but it doesn't help ultimately your gut to function in a more healthy way. And it's a huge industry, and it certainly is something where we have been educated to take an antacid to squelch those symptoms, but it is very clear in the literature that as we age, we tend to have less acid in our stomach. And it's just the timing of when we have that acid because of poorly digested food that sits in our stomach as causing that heartburn. And so it's more complicated than just taking an antacid, and certainly more complicated than we're going to be able to get into tonight because we're focusing on CBD oil, but I also want to bring in these other concepts because it all contributes to health. And if you're doing something that's tearing down your health, that's just as important as building up your health. And so we need to eliminate those factors and be aware of those factors, as well as adding things like cannabidiol in the oil form or the pill form or the salve form to help our health. And like I say, the gut is a very complicated organ systems, and so we can't just say do this and forget about all the other things. So we already talked about pH being very important. And so it's important that we are eating a good macrobiotic diet, getting lots of fruits and vegetables. A good rule of thumb is 50% of your food consumption by volume, I'm not talking caloric consumption, by volume coming from vegetables, about 30% coming from fruits, and about 20% being everything else. That's your proteins and any other extra stuff that you throw in there, be they things like breads and pastas and cereals, and those really aren't necessary, but if you're going to use them sparingly, and that's in that 20%. So that's a good rule of thumb to feed your gut properly and then feed your body properly. We can go to the next slide. And so what happens is, over a period of time, because of all these bad things that are out here in the periphery on this circle, things that contribute to changes in the pH and poor acid secretion and inflammation of the gut, we get something that's called dysbiosis. And dysbiosis is an imbalance in the gut of the intestinal flora. So we get bad flora that develops, we get bad microbes that develop, we get bad things like yeast and candida, all these parasites and things that can be in our colon and cause this imbalance and this breakdown. We alluded to this a little bit last week when we talked about inflammation. And so all these things contribute to that. So, kind of make a mental note and look at what you need to work on lifestyle-wise to help with improving your digestive health if this is an area that you have concerns. Because, again, adding things to improve health is always important. Adding a supplement like CBD oil is important, but we also want to mitigate the things that we're doing to our body that's causing the inflammation and causing the stress to our system so that it can truly, truly heal. And so here we're getting back and talking about the breakdown of these tight junctions between the endothelial lining of our gut. So the small cells, we have the finger-like villi that stick up and create absorption of the nutrients into our bodies. And there should not be these spaces. And the spaces allows these bad materials and undigested foods to get into the body. And then we get poor assimilation of foods and creates food allergies. I know I was talking with a patient just recently about all these gluten intolerances and things like that. That was something that was not even on the radar when I went to professional school. It wasn't even things that we talked about, somebody being allergic to wheat. And now everybody seems to have a gluten sensitivity. I think a lot of it comes from the GMO process that we've done with our grains, but also it's come from our poor digestive system that allows these undigested foods to get into our body, and so we create these food intolerances. I'm sure everybody could raise their hand and think of something that now they seem to be a little more sensitive to that they used to eat years ago, and it's because of this breakdown of your gut lining. And so it's very important that you maintain the health of your intestines. And we're going to get to the benefits of the cannabidiol, but we've got to get to how your system works so that you see how it's going to benefit you. But when you have all this inflammation going on in your gut, it breaks down, it opens up, just like you would if you had some inflammation on your skin and that skin breaks open and maybe you have some seepage. Well, you get the same type of thing happening in your gut. Your gut is the same type of cell, similar type of cell. It's a dermal cell, just like your skin. So any covering is considered dermis or epithelium. And think of your gut as a big hole. You know, you're really a donut, and just because you put something in your mouth does not mean it's in your body. No, it's in this hole that goes through the middle of your body, which is your digestive system. And so the goal of the biggest goal of the digestive system is to keep things out that shouldn't be in your body. And that's why acid is important, because it kills off a lot of these microbes that are in our food. We want our stomach to be hugely acidic, and it sterilizes the food as it comes into our stomach, and that's one of the main functions. It also helps with mineral absorption and protein digestion. So acid has a huge function in keeping our digestion normalized and keeping us healthy. So I like this slide because a lot of people are unfamiliar with the connection of the gut to the brain. And most people are now calling the gut our second brain. And they've actually proven that there are more neurotransmitters produced in our gut than our brain produces. And so when we talk about like depression and serotonin, which we've talked about in the past webinars, I believe, we actually produce more serotonin in our gut than our brain. And so keeping our gut healthy helps keep our brain healthy. And so it can make you happy and keep you happy. And of course, you're happy when your gut works properly anyway, because you don't have the indigestion and the heartburn and maybe constipation or diarrhea and all that type of thing that can not be so pleasant to deal with as well. But there is a direct connection between your gut and your brain. And actually, your gut is the only one of the few portions of your body that can run independent of brain input. And so we have this whole nervous system that regulates the gut 100% away from the stimulation of the brain. There's a slight input, but it's really not even that much from the vagus nerve. And so it's another interesting thing to think about when we think about our gut. And this kind of shows some of this connection between the healthy brain and the healthy gut. And we get, when we get stressed, and I'm sure we've all experienced this, when we get stressed, we maybe get a little nauseous, or we maybe get a little indigestion, because it changes our digestion. And so this interplay is back and forth between the gut and the brain all the time, and it gives you multiple examples here in this slide about how that works. And the reason why this is so important with cannabidiol, CBD oil, is because, as we've stated many times, the CBD oil is neuroprotective. And so it helps protect this brain-gut connection, so that we have a healthy interplay between the two, we'll say, brains of our body. Like I say, they refer to the gut as the second brain of our body. And we all have been told, to follow our gut when we're making decisions. And there is a lot of truth to that, even neurologically. As we're learning, we don't have a conscious brain in our gut. We get a more true reading from our gut without our conscious brain kind of talking us out of something, whether it be the right answer on the test or the right decision in life, that type of thing. So these gut feelings really does mean something. It is neurologically proven to be legitimate. So this neuroprotective aspect of cannabidiol is very beneficial for maintaining the health of our gut and maintaining the health of our brain, of course, because as I already stated, the gut functions totally independently of the brain input. Some things to keep in mind as we kind of monitor the health of our gut is, there's some easy things that we can look at. First thing would be our mouth. And when you're looking in your mouth, your biggest thing would be the tongue. Looking at the tongue, do you have a coated tongue? Does your tongue look abnormal? Are there any fissures in the tongue, which are the tongue breaking apart, looking like maybe the Grand Canyon type appearance? Is there any abnormalities, discolorations, that type of thing? There's certain cancers that can form in the mouth and in the tissues of the mouth. Also, of course, paying attention to the symptoms of digestion, paying attention, do you have any sensitivities to any foods that you eat, and then paying attention to your bowel movements. Do you have any abnormal bowel movements? Do you have less than frequent bowel movements? It really is normal to have a bowel movement 3 times a day. You eat 3 times a day, you should have a bowel movement 3 times a day. So these are things to think about when you're thinking about adding cannabidiol to your regime, because it can help with all these things. And we're going to look at a couple of studies that talk about how cannabidiol helps with gut motility. So we do have, I just picked 3. There's a plethora of studies, and this is looking at taking cannabidiol orally, and it helps with intestinal inflammation and hypermotility. And they were doing the study on mice, and so they give the mice certain chemicals that create inflammation, in this case colitis, which is just the fancy name for inflammation of the colon, and then they are able to analyze the tissue and compare it with a control group and show and prove that the cannabidiol really helps with inflammation of the colon. And so a lot of times if you're having chronic diarrhea, you've got an inflamed bowel, and you're headed toward things like diverticulitis, diverticulosis, that type of stuff. It makes the bowel lining weaker, and it makes it more susceptible to changes in the bowel. And what happens with these types of inflammatory bowel diseases is the fecal material kind of gets trapped in the little pouches along the colon, and then you get these problems, and it is rampant. It is on the rise, and so this is something that can benefit a lot of people, and getting this in your digestive system can make a huge change in your digestive health, just getting that inflammation under control. And then again, doing these lifestyle changes that support that inflammation not coming back. And having a normal gut motility is huge as well. The bowels need to move, and I can't tell you how many people come in on a regular basis struggling with chronic constipation. So this can be a very beneficial supplement for them to take to get their bowels moving and get that inflammation under control. So this is another one looking at colitis, so the inflammation of the bowel. Again, they were using it topically. So just rubbing some of the salve on your abdomen can be very beneficial. Your skin, of course, is a great transport medium to get things into your body. We see more and more drugs delivered via patches that people are using, and so the salve probably is underutilized in our group, I would guess. And so don't be afraid to rub it on your belly where you might be having some indigestion or having some digestive problems, and it will get into that tissue. And so this was looking at that topical application. We can go to the next one. And this is looking at colon cancer. So, again, something that's on the rise. More and more people are having bowel resections and things like that to remove diseased areas of their colon, and this is a supplement that can help with that and get those cells healthier and reverse some of the cancer cell growth. Another thing that's very beneficial is getting the right pH established in your gut. And a third thing that's beneficial is lots of proteolytic enzymes, because that strips away the protective layer on cancer cells so the immune system can attack that cell. So that's kind of a 1, 2, 3 punch of something that you can do. If you're having cancer, you always want to do everything that you can to eliminate a rapidly and very aggressive disease like cancer. But CBD has so much benefit in the area of regulating cancers and even reversing them. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of most of these studies are case studies or small studies, and so we don't have the big studies yet with cancer patients, but hopefully that will come with more press. I know here in the state of Indiana, CBD oil has been in the news almost daily because they have legislation that just got approved yesterday for the governor to sign to more regulate the sale of CBD oil, not in a negative way, just to make sure that it is legitimate stuff, because as we've talked about here on the webinar, there's so many synthetics out there that are getting people in trouble. So I applaud the state for being educated about the differences and asking that these manufacturers are distributing quality products in the state of Indiana. So it's not a negative thing at all. And it's good that the state is being proactive. So that legislation is actually on the governor's desk. It was just approved last night by the House and Senate of our state. And so there's lots of talk and lots of activity about CBD. So there's no reason that we can't continue to do the same with our friends and family and educate them and share this information with them so that they can benefit from the many health benefits, as we continue to cover week by week, of the cannabidiol and how it works in your system with the endocannabinoid system. Like I say, a lot of this information is relatively new, so we're all learning together and reading and researching, and it's really fun. So it's been each week is an education to dive into this research and to learn more about it. I was just like everyone else that graduated prior to this century, and we didn't learn about the endocannabinoid system, and we didn't learn about the benefits of CBD oil. We were in the drug age, and it was all bad, and hippies smoked marijuana and all that type of stuff, and there was nothing good really said about utilization of marijuana or hemp or any products like that. So we're all learning together, and we're all changing and updating our belief systems so that we can benefit from the health benefits of CBD oil. So hopefully any questions that you have, you're getting them in and plugging into the great company that we found, Canaway, so that you can get a quality product and you don't have to worry about guessing about which one to take that's on a shelf somewhere and might not be following the proper standards and manufacturing practices to get a good product. And they've done all the research and found good growers and all that type of stuff so that we can benefit from their efforts to put a good product together. And that's so important. I spend a good portion of my career early on picking supplements that were great and that I could trust and I knew that would consistently produce results that I could count on. And that's so important when your people are coming to you for health recommendations. You want to make sure you're recommending something that people can benefit from, not just stay here, go out to anywhere, mom and pop drugstore and get this product. So thank you for being on tonight. I really have enjoyed this process and look forward to it continuing.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. I did open it up for questions, so can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, see if we, and I know Tiffany had a really good testimony she wanted to share this week.
Awesome.
If you would go ahead and call, I can go ahead and get you live on our broadcast to share your testimony. But meanwhile, I am looking to make sure we don't miss any questions tonight, and then we'll go ahead live with her. So right now I'm looking, if I don't see any right now, we'll get with questions. Okay, so I'm just waiting that phone call. And then tune in next week. I said we also will have our Thursday night, 7 p.m. Share, get the word out. Like the page, join the CBD forum group. We can also join in our group, participate in that, and testimonies we can share in there as well. So so just hang on 1 second. Hello? Hey. Okay, you are live on the air, Tiffany. Welcome. I would love for you to share your testimony, Tiffany. I know, just so everybody knows, Tiffany's new to getting on CBD. She has had some health challenges, and it's interesting to hear her journey. She's actually going Facebook Live, her journey on taking the CBD oil and just sharing every day how she feels. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Tiffany, to share your testimony. So you're live. You can go ahead right now.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Dr. Phillips.
Hello.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2008 when I was pregnant with my youngest child. And ever since then, it's just been some problems. And then in 2015, I moved and was not able to have the medicine that I needed. And then I got it back in 2018, actually just February 2nd. I was prescribed the medicine that I had in 2008. Well, needless to say that didn't work. It tore my belly up already. I had all the symptoms that Dr. Phillips was talking about tonight. And so then I ended up going to the emergency room February 15th. They pumped me full of Dilaudid, morphine, Zofran, Phenibrin. And that's when I decided that I had to take control over my health. And so I live here in Alabama, and I'm not too far from Jeff Trumbo. And I was just letting him know one day when I went in there that I just got out of the hospital. Well, he introduced me to the CBD oil and Canaway, and what Canaway has to offer. So I have been interested, obviously. So March 6th, I got my kit and started taking it Tuesday evening of March 6th and started going live with it. Well, the next day, you have to understand I was in pain for 3 years straight. Lower back pain, tummy pain. The bowel movements wasn't normal. They were actually pretty scary. So that first night of taking just that first dose, I was able to wake up Wednesday morning with no pain. And when I say no pain, there was no pain. I didn't have the tummy rumbling. Still had a little issues with the DMs, but as far as no pain, there was none. So I started going live 2 times a day with taking the CBD oil, and the journey began that Tuesday, and I've been going live. I went live for 7 days. And ever since I had started taking that first dose, it was like my body, once I got that first dose, was like, hey. So after that, it's just been a 360 for me as far as, the ulcerative colitis. I don't take that medicine no more for ulcerative colitis. So that means I'm on no meds. But just within the 7 days that I started taking it, the CBD oil 2 times a day, my life has completely changed. And still haven't had no pain. Bowel movements are regular. It's like everything is in balance. And I don't want to say 100%, but we're almost 100% balanced. And I've noticed that I do have to up the dose of the CBD oil a little bit because that's what my body is telling me that it wants. So that is my testimony. So that is what I've been dealing with. And the CBD oil has just done wonders for me just for the first 7 days of taking it. So that's where we are with that. So I continue to take it. Still going to go live 2-3 days a week. But as of right now, this is the route I'm going to go, and there's no turning back for me. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Do you want to add anything, Dr. Phillips, to that?
No, that was awesome. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I think she could have done the webinar tonight.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Dr. Phillips, we're going to let you go, but I'm going to go through the product line with the individuals watching so they can kind of see what they could begin starting if they're interested in starting the journey with CBD oil and for their health and maybe possibly their digestive tract or any other issues they may have. So if you need to jump off, that would be great. That's fine. I understand you're super busy, and I want to thank you for joining in. And please go over to like Dr. Phillips' Facebook page. It's Dr. Phillips Natural News. You can go ahead and like his page and join his business page over there. And as well, if you are in the southern Indiana area, please stop by to his practice in Northwest Indiana. Actually, it's North Vernon, Indiana. Sorry, I used to live there.
It's actually southeast Indiana, but that's all right.
I get it. I remember being by the Louisville border, right? It's
yeah.
And then you have Bloomington as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to share a little bit of information, Dr. Phillips, and maybe your office number, so anybody, if you have, I know you're starting an online physician wellness program as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. Our goal is, it seems like over the years, I've been in practice almost 27 years now, and over the years, people have said, is there another doctor like you in this place or that place? And there are some times that I can refer them to, but it seems to be few and far between. And so I've found that usually we can piece together their health care with somebody, and then I can fill in the blanks just by doing some phone consultations. And so we've started doing that so that people can get good guidance around the country and, get connected with good steps like Canaway to getting healthy again and getting back on track without, like our testimonial tonight, lots of drugs that just cover up symptoms and cover up pain and don't change our physiology so that we can heal and repair the way our body was designed to do. And so that's my whole goal in life, and always has been, to help bodies and people to achieve their maximum level of health and well-being. And you can reach us at our office. It's 812-346-4181, and we're happy to connect you with either of the places or set up an appointment to talk to you over the phone.
So 812-346-4181. All right, everyone got that. We can put that number on the bottom too. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Phillips. I'm going to go talk about the product line that we could and the quality. We'll start with the quality because for me, I think that's important. And Dr. Phillips did address this, that not all CBD is created equal. There's a lot of stuff out there that it's not safe, and so it's really important that you get behind a product and get consumer product that has the efficacy and quality that you should have in your body. So as you can see from our quality guarantee, it's certified hemp seed, non-GMO, no pesticides, no herbicides, CO2 extracted, triple lab tested, that's a big deal, and European grown. So that certification is really, really important. And our triple lab tested is our own trademark. And I think bar none, that we are the General Hemp processes the CBD hemp formulation better than I've ever seen anybody in the industry, and I know that there's nothing like it. So that is really important because I've been a little involved in this for probably about 6 months now. I've learned so much. But one of the things I've noticed is that you got farmers and, Hillbilly Joe and, Bob in Florida go in a hemp field and think they can sell CBD oil. Well, there's a lot of facets to that it's important that you need to figure out and learn very quickly that not all CBD oil is created equal. You must have the purification process, so you put healthy things in your body, and you know where the growers are coming from, and you know how the process is formulated in a cleansing and purification way. So I do want to think that's important for you to understand because there's a lot of information out there, a lot of people pitching products, and you don't know how it's grown. You don't know that they're not using pesticides. You don't know that it's not non-GMO. So really, really need to understand that, and that's very, very important when you're consuming anything for your body. So you can turn the slide, Sarah. I'm going to go a little bit into, here's a large, you can go ahead and turn the slide again. This is a product line currently in the CBD choices, and you can see that they have pure CBD and the cannabidiol blend. So you can actually take the capsules. Now that's it for individuals who are first responders. So individuals who might be drug tested. I know when I was a flight attendant, we had to be concerned about that. So if that is a concern for you, all of our products are 0 to no THC and very like 0.03%. So it's over the counter, so it's safe. However, if you're a first responder, there's no point in taking chances and any of that. So we have two particular products that we would offer for individuals who are in the emergency medical field or police officers or the aviation industry. And then those in the military as well. And that would be the capsules, the CBD capsules, and our pure gold. I think that's the next slide. And that's non-traceability right there. That's our newest product. This is the only CBD that's available in Europe currently. And it's a really, really amazing product and how it's been formulated. So it's 100% pure gold. The CBD is the best we have produced thus far. It's a little bit on the higher end as far as the price point goes. But as I said, if you feel better and you're getting results, there's really no money you can put on that, in my personal opinion. You're going to pay for it either way, if you're going to go to the doctor because you're sick or you're going to put it in nutrition. In my opinion, nutrition is the key. Whatever you put in your body is going to result in positive or negative effects. So go ahead and turn that slide. Okay, this Revive series is actually my favorite, along with the CBD, but I really love this. I'm taking every one of these every single day. You see the bigger bottle, the front end, that's Revive Pro. That's a combination of a super powerful blend of natural ingredients along with the B-Bomb formula, which is a bunch of ancient herbs. And it's way over my head, but all I know is it's really good for you. And I can tell you my hair and nails are growing like a weed. Amazing. But you can see boosts energy levels, increases vitality, balance of bodily systems, improves mental clarity, quality of sleep, encourages longevity, and cleanses and detoxifies. So there's that AM, PM. So if you pop in the morning, you can have the AM, and the PM, you can pop that at night. Help you sleep a little better. And one of our gateway products, we call it a gateway product, is our CBD salve. Now this actually is for almost everything, except for you're not going to be obviously eating it, but it's for your body. So joint pains, muscle aches, arthritis pain, anything that you feel, a rash. I know I shared a testimony the other day. My dog, Joey, he has allergies. He's a Yorkie, so that's just part of the process. Well, he had a flare-up, an allergy flare-up on his eye, and it was very swollen, and I put the CBD salve on there. By the end of the day, his reaction was gone. So that was really, really amazing to see. I wanted to see if it really worked for him, for dogs. And so I was really happy with results. So you can put this anywhere, and this is a great product to share as well. So if we have the smaller, as you can see in the image, there's a smaller version of the salve, so you can put it in your purse or carry it with you. So you can go ahead and move on. No, thank you. Now I wanted to go over a little bit on the Canaway Super Greens, because this is actually what we're focusing on tonight, is digestive health. And the Super Greens is primarily formulated for our digestive health. It's super, super green. It actually tastes really good, but it has 40 superfoods in there. So you can turn the slide so we can go through a little bit what's in there. So I have been I started taking this in the morning. Every morning when I get up before I have breakfast, I take this. And I feel better. I have more energy. And you can see it has healthy greens blends, fiber blend, probiotic digestive blend, vitamins and minerals, B-Bomb digestive blend, and antioxidant blend. Not to mention all of the superfoods it has in there. It's incredible. So it packs a punch. It has hemp flower, flaxseed, chia seed, and apple pectin. Apple pectin is actually, by the way, if you don't know this, it's a cleanse. So it actually pulls toxins out of your body and flushes it out. So that's a very powerful component to our super greens. Chia seed also cleanses the colon. And as you see here, it has spirulina, wheatgrass. I don't know if you know this about wheatgrass, but wheatgrass is very powerful. Barley grass, just Google wheatgrass, what the benefits of it. Alfalfa, broccoli, spinach. I mean, where can you get all of that in like a teaspoon every day or a tablespoon every day? So I love this. You don't need a lot of it, and it's going to make you feel better, have more energy. And one of the things I know, most of us don't get enough greens. I know I don't. I'm the one in the keto never ate her vegetables. So it's a great way to get this condensed, and you're getting very good quality in your body at the same time. So we can go ahead and move that slide over. And so you can see there's some really great value packs that you could get started on if you want to enjoy our entire line. And so that's just a good fit for whatever you want. You can see our first one. It's got the Revive plus the CBD, and we have some super energy chews that are also featured there. We do have a CBD essential oil blend. So that would be an external, you want to use that for your external pressure points, and there'll be specifications on where to put them, but that's also in our product line. And obviously we have a cannabis skin line as well, which I think they're doing a full facelift on that next month, so that'd be exciting. So there's some package deals, really, really good deals. And we're going to close out with, hemp is not our enemy. Ignorance is. And